Well, what do you think? Am I going to be able to find the parts I need and fix this all on my own? Or am I going to have to send this into DJI and have them fix it for me? So this past summer, while on vacation with my family, I grabbed the DJI FPV drone to chase my nieces and nephews around as they were out tubing. And I took off in normal mode and flew around briefly, and then I decided I wanted to be in full manual mode so I could chase them better. And for some reason that I'm still not too sure about, I've had trouble switching modes while I'm in flight. So I decided to head back and land and switch modes that way. And now I've taken off in manual mode dozens of times in the past, but for some reason, this time when I tried to take off into manual mode, things didn't go very well. And that's all the video I got. As the drone freaked out, it rolled across the yard, flew up into the air, luckily didn't hit anybody, but it did hit a tree and then crashed on the shore of the lake like a foot from being in the water. So I was happy it didn't get wet. But as you can see from these photos, it did break an arm. It did break one of the pieces of the landing gear. It broke the sensor off on the bottom and some antennas and wires and stuff like that. And I was pretty bummed. I wasn't sure if this was something I'd be able to fix on my own or if I'd have to send this into DJI and have them repair it for a lot more money. And then I ran into this website called Cloud City Drones, and they seem to have all the parts that I would need to replace an arm in stock and at fairly reasonable looking prices. So my next step was to figure out exactly which parts were broken and what parts would I need to order to replace them to get this thing working again. So after investigation, tearing it apart a little bit, it turns out I needed the bottom shell, the front right arm module, the front right landing gear antenna board, the front arm LED cable, and the landing gear antenna feeder. So I put those in my cart, ordered them up, and after a short wait, the parts arrived and I could start replacing the arm. So I will admit that this was not as easy as I had hoped, but it was still manageable. I did, however, get stuck a few times, and luckily there are some really great YouTube videos out there showing you exactly what you need to do to replace an arm. So with the help of those videos, I was able to get this arm and all those other parts I mentioned that were broken replaced. So now all that's left to do is to see if I got it connected properly so that when I take it out, it'll fly again. All right, here we go. It looks like it's got satellites and GPS. All the sensors must be working. So it's time to find out if everything's good and it'll fly. And I can move the camera up and down. Let's leave it in normal mode for now and start the motors. See? Ooh, I can take off. That's good. So it flies. Whew. Vision system calibration error. Uh-oh. Okay, so maybe I didn't get everything working quite right. Maybe those downward sensors aren't working. Let's see, can I land? Does it know how high it is off the ground? Auto landing. It did land. See if it'll take off again without freaking out. Home point updated. Okay. It's not complaining about the vision system this time. Although I am occasionally getting flashes as if it sees a sensor too close or something. All right, I switched over to manual mode. Vision system calibration error again. So maybe there is something wrong with those sensors. Maybe I didn't get that cable fully connected right. Well, it at least flies okay in manual mode at the moment. Let's stick it back to normal mode. Let's see if I can bring it in for a landing. All right, well, it might not be perfect, but it works. I'm thinking if anything, I'll have to take this bottom sensor thing off and try to get that cable connected better. That might be an issue. Well, after reseating the cable, the error message went away and the drone's flying just like it did before. So I think this shows that if you've got a little bit of patience and some skill, you might just be able to replace your own broken DJI FPV drone arm.